Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Animac here from Anime Uproar, and welcome to a new episode of the Naruto Virgin podcast. We are back after a week break. Last week we did the One Piece Virgin, and now we are doing Naruto chapters 116 to 134. And man, there was so much happening in these chapters. Nux, you wanted to do 18 chapters.
I believe it's pronounced Naruto.
Nux, you wanted to do 18 chapters. There's so much to cover, so you better not start criticizing me. You didn't mention this, you didn't mention that, because you wanted to cover this many chapters, so now you have to deal with it, bro. Nux
I
is
have
with
never
us.
criticized you before in my entire life. Why would I start now?
Exactly. Briggs is with us as well.
Hey guys, I'm Briggs.
Nux and Briggs!
Nice and Briggs!
Right.
And we have Gozen, my brother.
What's up?
Also from Anime Uproar. Guys, okay, we need to address the elephant in the room. Did Naruto...
I didn't gain that much weight over quarantine,
No.
bro.
Did Naruto literally stick a exploding kunai in Gaara's ass?
Yes.
Dude, that's what
Yes.
I told. That's just what I told Briggs right before we started.
Like, I was like, did this just happen?
It's beautiful.
It's classic
Yes, it
Naruto.
happened, and it's art.
Bro, it's funny because, you know, One Piece, we've done One Piece, obviously, and One Piece has comedy as such a central element, whereas Naruto, I would say, is not as often. But when it does have, like, a funny thing, they incorporate it really well, like the fart strategy and now this. Like,
The fart strategy was not funny. I didn't even crack a smile. I just nodded and stroked my beard.
yeah, it makes sense, but it was still funny.
No, exactly. It always seems like it's just stupid, but then it actually makes sense.
No, yeah, I definitely respect for that. And that was just, like, one aspect of all the awesome things that happened during this part of the series. I'm definitely excited to talk about it. Before we get into it, once again, reminder to everyone to check out the Rant Anime podcast on Spotify. It is both free and ad-free, so check it out. Just search Rant Cafe on Spotify. We talk about every week. We talk about different topics, general anime topics, roasting stuff, ranting about stuff, hanging out. So check us out. Give us a follow. It means a lot to us, and it supports this podcast as well if you do that.
Sexy jutsu.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the first big opponent that Naruto didn't use the sexy jutsu on.
It wouldn't work. This guy's too crazy.
It wouldn't work. Gara has
Yeah.
balls of steel.
Okay, so let's get into this because, like I said, a lot of stuff happened. We had roughly around 100 sand ninjas attacked the Leaf Village along with Orochimaru. That's something that I wrote down. And Orochimaru wanted to become the fourth Hokage, but he wasn't chosen. And it seems that he resented this, and that's why he turned against the village.
Yo, Animac, you know why he wasn't chosen? Because he wasn't zen enough.
Yeah. I mean, that does make sense.
You never heard a pun like that.
We did learn later why he wasn't chosen, and it was pretty insane. But I just want to point out how awesome the moment was where the two sound ninjas are attacking Sakura. And of course, Sakura doesn't do anything. But Kakashi, bro, he just crushes them both. Just in one move, he just stabs them in the fucking face with a kunai and kills them both. And he's just like, no messing around, Kakashi, bro. I was like, yo, epic.
No, Kakashi stands out all the time as a fantastic character. Like, nonstop.
Yeah, I like that he wasn't
every
like,
time he's on screen.
oh, I'm going to arrest them or something. He was just like, no, boom, stab them in the face with the kunai.
I mean, that would suck if he's like, I'm gonna arrest them.
You know how shonen sometimes can be, no one dies type thing?
No, I get what you mean. It's
true.
not like Batman.
That's one of my complaints. Like, in many modern shonen, I always say, why don't they just kill people? Why does no one die? I even had this complaint in Jujutsu Kaisen lately. It was the 7-3 guy versus Mahito for like 5 episodes and 3 matches, and it was just, why are they both still alive? There's something with many shonen recently that characters just don't die. And it's frustrating, especially when Naruto got the dying thing down pat.
Yeah,
Well, it
especially
might
for irrelevant characters as well. Like, sometimes it's good to have an important character die, but it's also good to have them be brought back later and undergo some type of change. It's just like, if no one's dying in a series that it would make sense for characters to die, it's like if Kakashi just tied them up in ropes, it's like this, like it just wouldn't hit the same.
I mean, like,
I think it might be an influence.
one of my biggest complaints with Harry Potter.
that's what I was gonna say. It might be an influence of Western media and Western animation, because I know growing up in the West that death was not a thing that happened. Like, it was very rare, and
Yeah.
often the heroes like Batman and stuff would go out of their way not to kill. So maybe shonen anime is kind of taking lessons from that.
I think it's
They're
it's a combination of the demographic being younger. You don't want it to be too like dark and too much this slaughter, but at the same time, like, it depends on the series. Like something like My Hero Academia, these guys are heroes. They're not going to go around just killing people. But in Naruto, it makes sense.
for a while. I've been saying this for a while. Like 90% of the people in MHA, if they just carried like guns, they would be more effective than using their quirks.
It's true.
Facts.
Like, there
Yeah,
are
but it wouldn't be
some
as fun,
overpowered
though.
quirks, but like for 90% of them, like carrying a gun would be more effective. And especially if you're a villain who doesn't care about morals, I don't know why they wouldn't just do that.
Yeah, maybe it's hard to come by a gun, bro.
It's not. There were literally villains with guns.
They ban
Yeah, like
guns,
the
and it
one
works.
overhaul guy was one of Overhaul's henchmen used a gun, and it's like, why didn't they all just use machine guns? I don't get it. Anyway, Orochimaru versus the third Hokage. It was one of the big matches that was happening throughout this part of the arc, and it was just so epic. We had
It was so epic.
various stages of it, but basically Orochimaru summoned, like resurrected the first and the second Hokage by sacrificing two of his henchmen.
Dude, the third Hokage, this old geezer is so badass that Orochimaru needs to summon two previous Hokages to deal with him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and the way he summons them is, I guess, he resurrects their souls in the bodies of his dead henchmen that he sacrificed.
Yeah.
And so then they still have like the powers that the original Hokages had. And man, when we were looking at the third Hokage fighting against these two Hokage, like, I feel like as much as we've seen cool powers so far, this was like an indication that there is a lot more to go. Like, Naruto still has to grow a lot before he can get to this level, because that was like next level stuff. Those jutsus and stuff, it was just so much above anything we've seen so far.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got to see the wood style that was it the second Hokage used?
First.
No,
First.
first Hokage used wood style, second Hokage used water style.
This dude
He was
used water
trying-
style when there's no water around too. What a Chad.
Yeah, that was crazy. He pulled the moisture out of the air.
If only Orochimaru had a gun, though.
Honestly, I don't think we could just ignore the third Hokage's roof tile shuriken technique.
Yeah, for real.
No, I will say that
He was. Go
in
ahead.
terms of Naruto, the way they do their jutsus and how fast they are and stuff, you could argue that guns wouldn't be as effective as an MHA, which is more similar to our own world, like less magic. And I feel like guns would be quite effective against most quirks.
It's also like much more fantasy-esque Naruto. Like,
Yeah.
they don't really they have some technology, but like not a ton.
Exactly. It's very pick and choose.
So the first Naruto movie, they have like a Gatling gun that shoots kunai. Like, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, why don't they use this all the time?" But it's not canon. But it was terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, so the big takeaway from this part of the arc was that there were so many epic battles going on around the same time. Like, I also have to mention Shikamaru, because he was a star in this as well.
Big
First,
fact.
he was like pretending to be asleep, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, all these people are asleep, and he was just pretending to be asleep so he doesn't get involved. And then Kakashi tells Sakura, Naruto, and Shikamaru to track down Sasuke, and they use the dog called Pakun to go and track
Pakun, my boy.
Pakun.
I love
And
that.
then, as they're heading after Sasuke, they realize that they're being followed by like 9 different sound ninjas. So Shikamaru has to make the sacrifice of staying behind and trying to divert them for long enough for the other guys to escape, because otherwise they won't be able to beat them, because they're outnumbered by so much. So Shikamaru is basically risking death in order to sidetrack these guys and stop them from pursuing Sakura, Naruto, and the dog.
I mean,
Yes.
a lot of these ninjas were kind of risking death.
But Shikamaru is funny because he straight up says his life philosophy and hopes before he does it. He's like, yeah, I wanted to just marry an average girl and live an average life and retire when my kid becomes a ninja. But yet he's the Jean of this show, where he still does the right thing despite the fact that he really
No.
doesn't want to.
You did not compare him to Jean.
It's true. He's Horseface.
You did. You did
Not in every way,
You
but
compared him to Jean.
Jean. Yeah.
Like Attack on Titan Jean.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
there's moments in Attack on Titan where Jean, with this mid-battle or like mid-traumatic moment, like he literally does a backstory where he picked. Well, I guess this is a spoiler, but like he'll just picture a better life or a more chill life if he had chose a better option and decided
Dude,
not to
Jean.
be a cadet or whatever it's called.
All right. But okay.
Knox hasn't seen the series in so long, so he doesn't remember. Meanwhile, you guys did because of the Virgin.
Yeah, anime version guys.
I mean, he is
check it out.
nowhere nearly as cool as Shikamaru.
Yeah, like I agree
Dude,
with that.
I remember Jean very well. Don't get me wrong. I preferred when he was an asshole in season 1.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I just thought this moment, Shikamaru moment, was epic because
What?
It was.
he's able to stop these 8 sound ninjas, and there's like another one, I guess, hiding up there. And he stops them with his shadow, but he knows that he can't last for long because it's using up too much of his energy. So he knows that he's likely going to get killed, but he still does it because it's the right thing to do. Even though, as Gozen mentioned, in life he did not want to do any such extraordinary things. He just wanted to live a chill life, regular life, marry a girl that's not too ugly or too hot. You don't want to go too far either way.
What motivation?
Just kind of live your life. But
He's such a fun guy, man.
it was epic. But then he was, in the very last moment, he was saved by one of the senior Leaf
Asuma.
Asuna.
Village. Yeah, I forgot his name.
Is it Asuna?
But yeah,
Asuma.
Sarutobi.
It's Asuma with an
Ma.
M.
Yeah.
I love Asuma also. He's great.
Yeah, he's very
He
cool.
kicked ass, bro.
So yeah, he does end
came
up showing, and
destroyed them.
he absolutely crushes the sound ninjas, which was amazing. But I just really like the fact that Shikamaru didn't know that he was coming, so he was, risking it all. And for all he knew, he was going to be dead in the next few seconds.
No, exactly.
I
respect
love
the
how all
resolve.
of so Asuma is like the Jonin responsible for Shikamaru, and Shoji. And I love how they all have
Yeah.
this moment where they just come in and just wipe people out with such little effort.
Did the female one have it yet?
Not yet.
No.
It's
She got
it's
Sakura.
Kishimoto here. She probably never will.
So wait, hold on. You know Asuma's full name, I believe. I think it was
Yeah,
already
I
stated,
do.
right?
Can we
Was
say
it already stated?
I don't
It's
know.
not a real spoiler. It doesn't.
No,
it's not
Nah,
like
just
an
fucking
epic
say it,
moment.
man.
It's Sarutobi.
His name is Asuma Sarutobi. He's the third Hokage's nephew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
So
didn't
good
know that,
genes.
but I don't think that's a big deal. It just is.
No, it's not a big deal. I happen one of my favorite things in Naruto is the whole lineage aspect. I think it's so cool. Like the themes and the different families and how you see what happens and what they do. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, because they have different clans with different abilities and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Clans and
Yeah, it's
abilities.
very, very
Yeah,
dope.
it feels like a community, right? It's not just like a random series with random characters. It's like you get to know this community as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they're in a village,
Which
It's
is
a
something I
village
really
with,
like
a
about
sun to
Naruto.
bricks, and
Bro, this, man,
know,
this Leaf
community
Village is
there.
so deep, man.
yeah. So back to the Hokage fight, because the third Hokage shows some really impressive jutsu, summons the Monkey King Enma and all that type of stuff. But he's clearly getting old, so his chakra output isn't what it once was, and this seems to be a big problem as the fight goes on because Orochimaru seems to have a handle on him until something else happens. But so what happens is the third Hokage ends up using a unique jutsu that had belonged to the fourth Hokage, the one that died, and essentially this jutsu sacrifices the user's soul to the god of death in return for sealing their opponent away.
Yup.
And I'm guessing that this is the same jutsu he must have used when he sealed away the nine-tailed beast, right?
Let's go! Animac with the brain!
Because that apparently sacrifices your life, so that would explain how he died, right?
Well, yeah, that would explain a lot.
I mean, that is one option. Yeah.
Oh, and then Jiraiya shows up and joins the battle like a boss.
Yeah, although kind of like in a not super consequential way yet, but we'll see
Yeah,
what
we haven't
happens.
seen much of him yet, but he shows up and he does his "I am here" moment, which I appreciated.
I mean, I
Exactly.
wouldn't even say that was one of the highlights, to be honest.
No, probably not. And it's funny how he even said, like, you better not be dead, old man. And when he says that, like, he's literally sacrificing his life. So us knowing that, I just felt bad for Jiraiya.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought
and-
it was such a crazy fight. It was really like we've had Jonin fights that we've seen, like Kakashi versus Zabuza, which we were like impressed by. This is like a completely new height.
Yeah,
for
the Hokage
sure.
fight is just insane. And I mean, if that wasn't enough, we have the Shino versus Kankuro fight, which was also pretty good.
Yes, I agree. Shino
not-
doesn't get a lot of love, but that was a great fight.
I mean, obviously, it's not the hypest fight in this, but it's still a good fight. If it was taking place anywhere, earlier on in the story, it would have definitely been really good, really notable. And obviously, Sasuke versus Gara happens too, where Gara basically transforms into a freaking monster, like a literal monster, not just like, oh, I'm an edgelord and there's a monster inside of me. Like, no, like actual monster, bro.
Yeah, kind of cute monster at the same time.
So we what?
And the Mac knows what's up.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so there's like 3 epic fights going on at the same time. The third Hokage versus Orochimaru, Sasuke versus Gara, Kankuro versus Shino, and it's just like page after page of nonstop action. I loved it.
Yeah, and the
Yep.
action you don't need action, but definitely this was well done action. Like not everything has to be action, but this was good stuff.
And we had our boy
No,
Sarutobi actually make Shuriken useful for the first time ever. It just shows it's a
True.
ninja, not the weapon.
Wow.
No, exactly. And the fact, like, imagine if Naruto's chakra was in this dude. Like, he could only produce 2 shadow clones, right? While because of how little chakra he has left, and yet look how well he did. Imagine like he had Naruto level chakra. It would be crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and during the Sasuke Gara fight, we see Sasuke actually managing to wound Gara multiple times, which is like shocking. And the people that know Gara have never seen it before. But Gara is still too strong at this point. So Sasuke is using his Sharingan plus Chidori just to stay alive. And just when it looks like he's about to get, beaten, Naruto ends up showing up and giving him the assist. And then it transitions into a Sasuke with his mark ends up being unsealed, his curse mark. And then he keeps fighting. And then Naruto's fighting and Gaara's just going crazy. So, yeah, man, that was so much. There was so much happening there. It was great.
Yeah.
And we
Another
got
thing that I
Naruto
thought was
summoning a
really
toad.
cool when it comes to Gara versus Sasuke. You know how Naruto, when he fought Haku, he had like that Nine Tails cloak? He had like...
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is sort of similar. Like, this is Gara with this demon creature thing inside him, like, half taking over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
This is a
why
power
it's
that was
different, though.
alluded to.
Mhm.
Like, it's... So, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we got Gaara's backstory.
Yes!
During the
In
fight.
my
right?
opinion, probably the highlight of this week's chapters.
Honestly, it was a great backstory. It was a great backstory, and I definitely want to talk about it in detail because I liked it a lot. So we basically learned that he was completely isolated as a kid because everyone was scared of him because of this demon that he has inside him, right? And the only one who seemed to love him was his mother's sister, and she always told him how his mother loved him too, and that must be why the sand protects him because it's his mother's will. So when that was
His
when that
mother's
was revealed-
love.
yeah, love coming through the sand or whatever. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, so there's still hope for Gara because he still has that reference point of someone caring about him, despite the fact that most people didn't. But then the craziest tragic backstory twist possibly ever, like it was just like so heartbreaking, bro. It
I'm
turns
pretty
out that
Yeah.
It
He was
turns out that
it was his mother's brother, not his mother's sister. That guy. That was a dude.
that was a dude.
That's a,
Classic
anime.
anime moment. Yeah.
What?
that's a dude.
That was a dude?
Yeah, so is Haku, bro.
True. Yeah, no, it was a dude. It was his uncle. It was Gara's uncle.
Really, I thought that was a girl for sure because it was like that's my older sister, so I thought it was the younger sister.
No, it's the younger brother.
I don't know. Like
I'm
I
looking
guess
at the panels right now. It's definitely hard to tell, especially in the manga. I'd imagine.
It's
Yeah.
a girl, whatever. It's not a point of discussion.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, because they said the name, and maybe if I was Japanese, I would know that the name was male, but like the name was just like Yasha something, so I was like, whatever. I don't know the name.
Yashamaru.
Okay,
All right,
Uncle.
here's the real question, Animac. Did you fap to this individual? Because if you did, that would make a great story.
Well, I did not, because that was not my
Damn it.
first thought during this freaking
All right.
tragic backstory, Nux. Anyway,
Okay.
okay, so the uncle, it turns out that the uncle actually resented Gara the whole time and hated him for taking away his sister's life because Gara died. Gara's mother died giving birth to him or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
they really
yeah.
had the audience convinced that he actually cared.
So the
Yeah.
way it happened that made it so impactful for me was that seeing the story through Gara's eyes is not the same as Gara telling the story, right? Like, Gara's born, all the kids hate him, like, he can't stick around with anybody. The one person that cares about him, like, you know, puts bandages on for him and whatever and says, don't worry, I'll be there for you. And it's not just that he dies, dude. It's that he is the assassin sent by Gara's father, the Kazekage, to kill him. And
Yeah.
Gara kills this dude, the only person that he cares about and that seemingly cares about him. And as he's dying, he says, why would you do this to me? And he says, I always hated you for killing my sister.
I always
is
resented
so-
you.
And not only
And you
that,
see Gara's face.
not
just
only that,
change.
bro. It's not only that. He also says that to Gara that his own mother didn't actually love him, that she hated the world, and she died like hating and cursing the world, and she only wanted Gara to live in the sense that he would like bring despair to everyone who wronged her, but she didn't actually love him either, and she didn't want him.
Yeah, man. Like, there's no worse thing you could say to a child than that.
A
Especially
child
one-
that's already been through so much, and there's like this one lifeline, this uncle guy, let's say uncle, and then that turns out to be like the person sent to kill him by his own father, by the way. I mean, like,
Yes,
that's
and
what your
I'm pretty
father's
sure
trying to kill you.
it's clear he has insomnia and everything as well. So everything is just for mental health wise. This is like the perfect cocktail for just a huge mess.
And you
Yeah,
wonder
bro.
why he becomes a psycho.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you really understand where Gara is coming from. Because obviously, you know, someone living a normal life, you would never think would get to that point where he just like his purpose in life is just killing people and he doesn't care. But imagine being this kid who was hated by everyone. Your own family tried to kill you. Like, you had literally no one in the world who cared about you at all. And that's your whole life. Like, imagine that. You're basically a weapon that people use and abuse.
And it's even worse because he was given a bit of hope, and then it was taken away, like so hard.
Yeah,
when
like
he
how
thought
would
he
you
was
expect
fine.
Gara to have a proper understanding of like the worth of human life or anything when that's how he grew up?
No, exactly. Misery loves company. So why would he want to make others happy when they made him miserable?
Yeah, and eventually Gara just goes into a full monster. But before that, I thought it was a great moment where Naruto realizes that he could have been Gara. Literally, he realizes that he was also lonely and resented everyone for treating him like a monster at one point. But he had people like Iruka Sensei and the other people who were kind to him, and that became his lifeline, where he, you know, made friends and actually became a good person. But Gara did not have that. He had literally no one supporting him, encouraging him, giving him any sort of affection, and that's what he became. So Naruto was like, you know, this could have been me.
Yeah, man. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then we have the Gara versus Naruto fight. We have Naruto sticking an exploding kunai up Gara's ass, which was
Hold on. That and he called it the ultimate Uzumaki barrage. He
that
prepped
is
for this. He made a ton of clones, and he was bouncing from one clone to the other to jump over Gara's head, and everyone's like, "What's gonna happen? 1,000 years of death!" He uses Kakashi, his sensei. He uses Kakashi's jutsu, where he shoves a kunai up his ass and blows his butt off.
bro.
And it happens to be the weak spot as well.
Well, who wouldn't feel like that's their weak spot?
Yeah, I would imagine an
explosive
explosive
device up
kunai
his butt.
up anything's butt would be pretty weak.
Dude,
I mean, if you've
you don't
seen The
understand.
Boys,
It was even better because Kakashi, bro, in the first fight against Naruto, Kakashi used the 1,000 years of death against Naruto, and Naruto You now blew up Gaara's butthole, which was great.
No, it was honestly JoJo's level of like master strategy fighting with hilarity.
Yeah, I thought like peak creepy Gara was when the transformation was like partial,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
but then
pretty
Yeah.
full is not as fucked up.
cool.
In
Still
my
pretty
opinion.
fucked up, but like it's less. We have a little. It feels detached from Gara himself at this point.
Yeah, it has an Akira feel like before he's fully transformed. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck's happening with this guy?
Yeah, and then Naruto uses his multiple shadow clones to drive Gara like beyond his limit because he's already injured from the butt blast.
Butt
And
blast!
And then Gara
Explosive diarrhea, bro. That's what
straight
it
up turns into a giant monster, the sand spirit, Shukaku or something.
Chukaku.
And then
So how do you deal
Nar-
with Shukaku, a giant
then
monster?
Naruto ends up summoning the giant toad from before.
Gamma
Bunta.
Bunta.
During the Jiraiya fight, but before that, he also summoned a smaller toad who was apparently the son of the giant toad. So we're two toads.
Yeah.
We have two toads now.
Yeah,
We
the
have,
sun wanted some
Gamma Bunta,
munchies.
Gamma Bunta, the chief toad, and Gamatatsu.
Yo,
Gamma Bunta's son.
Gamma Bunta recognizes Shukaku.
Yes, he says, "Oh,
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like, I don't
yeah.
want to fight this dude, man.
So who is Shukaku? Is he also a beast like the Naruto's beast, like the nine-tailed beast?
Who knows?"
Yeah, like, we can't give you answers to questions.
Well, it seems like he would have to be this because it's just like this giant thing, and the nine-tailed beast was also a giant thing at one point before it was sealed inside Naruto, right?
Yeah, so is Gamabunta a beast like that?
Bro,
I
he's a
don't know.
toad. He's a toad.
Yeah, so
Yeah, and Shukaku is a big ass raccoon. What's your point?
Also, toads don't have tails, and it's a tailed beast,
Well,
right?
you can assume it's definitely some.
shit. You know about tailed beast? I don't even.
Ooh.
Oh,
The
man.
nine-tailed beast, yes.
How many
Alright,
tails does
cool.
Shukaku have?
I don't know. I didn't count.
1. Spoilers.
I mean, he's read it. It shows.
Yeah.
How many tails does Gamma Bunta have?
He's the
Well,
no
yeah.
tails, bro.
Does that
Yeah,
count
the
as
no
a tail?
tails, man.
There
Gamma
was
Bunta's the
there
legend.
was a filler movie with the 0 tails, by the way.
Yeah, 0 tails.
Anyway, the point is, I feel like it's the same type of monster going on because the whole, like, I don't know exactly what happened with the sand, because they did this intentionally. Like, this wasn't just a monster being sealed away inside Naruto in order to kind of like save the world from the monster. They intentionally intended Gara to become a host for this demon thing, sacrificed his mother in the process.
Pretty much
So
Yeah, the
I don't know.
similarities between Naruto and Gara here are just insane, right? Other than their environments and the finding that one connection. So you could assume that they might have a similar monster in them.
Yeah, I would assume so for sure. And
It's
I
one
mean,
of the
just
best character foils in
the
this whole series.
appearances, the appearance of the monster, and all that type of stuff. And now I'm sure that as the fight goes on, Naruto's gonna have to kind of dig back into the nine-tailed beast within him in order to fight fire with fire type thing. That will be my guess.
What are you guessing?
He's
That
thinking
Naruto's
that it's
gonna have-
He's guessing that he'll use the Nine Tails power to fight
You mean,
Shukaku.
like, eventually in the story? What do you mean to fight Shukaku? You already read the fight.
No.
Still
So
going on.
the last chapter was when Gamabunta agreed to help
Are
out.
you
because
kidding me? You
that-
still didn't read till the end?
That was the last chapter.
You know who didn't read till the end? You Nux, because you don't even know what chapter we're on.
Yeah, but I remember what happened better than you!
Yeah, sure.
How many chapters are left of this arc?
Wait, so you didn't even see the fight, the end of the fight, third Hokage versus Orochimaru?
No,
No. We just know that the third Hokage is dying.
the third Hokage is holding him in that seal, right? Like he's trying to get the soul out.
Yeah, he's trying
Yes,
to get
he's
Orochimaru.
using the God of Death thing. But because the third Hokage is so old, it doesn't have quite the strength to pull Orochimaru's soul out. So I guess his goal is to seal both himself, sacrifice himself in order to seal Orochimaru's soul away. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Okay, so we forgot to talk about the fact that Orochimaru, why he got banished from the village or whatever, he was conducting human experiments on people because he wanted to perfect this immortality jutsu that would make him immortal. but that was forbidden. So he was like, yo, this guy's a monster. He was kicked out, banished. But he ended up perfecting it. So now he has the ability to put his mind and soul into other bodies, like younger bodies, and keep living forever. And he's already done it several times. And it seems that he wants the next body to be Sasuke. That's why he's so interested in Sasuke. He wants to groom him into the perfect vessel.
And that's why I call him a terrorist pedophile.
Okay, well, it's a different kind of grooming, okay?
He wants Sasuke's body, dude.
Literally.
Yeah, but when you say it like that,
put it that way, but
it makes sense, and he's an interesting character for sure. I love how even that guy who was super scary for us in the beginning of the exams, I don't know his name, Nux probably does, the guy with the scars all over his head.
You don't know his name?
I'm
Marino, bro. Ibiki Marino.
Yes, him. So he even said, he's like, bro, Orochimaru gave me the creeps, bro. Like, I was just so scared, which is coming from him. That's insane.
And that guy's pretty terrifying. He's the lead. What's it called? God damn it!
The torture lead.
Interrogator.
Orochimaru is still less creepy than Hisoka. I'll say that right now, bro.
I mean,
Hisoka seems like fun though. Orochimaru seems like
that's not the kind of fun I'm trying to have goes in. I don't know what you're trying to do, bro.
I would get along with Hisoka. I don't think I would get along with Orochimaru.
I don't mind Orochimaru. I mean, as long as he's not conducting experiments on me.
Yeah, you don't have a Sharingan or anything. You're not worth it, bro.
Excellent.
Yeah, you're not young enough for him either, bro.
Yeah, he's a pedophile.
Okay, stop.
Terrorist.
Stop this.
I'm telling you, bro. You don't want to believe it, but it's the fact.
Okay, so back to Orochimaru. The reason why he didn't become the fourth Hokage was because they found out about his human transmutation shit he had going on and him wanting to become immortal. And that's why he wants Sasuke's body, because he wants to become the Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it's true. When I was looking at the different Hokage fighting, like using the earth and the water and all that stuff, it did remind me of like Full Metal Alchemist style powers, except like I thought it was even crazier, even more like.
So Orochimaru also, on top of wanting to get his immortality by just keep on swapping bodies, it's the reason why he needs that longevity is because he wants to master all these different jutsus and become like strong.
Yeah.
Yo, he just wants to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Exactly.
It's interesting, right? It's interesting. He's like a collector, and he collects
Orochimaru is basically the protagonist of his own story, where he just wants to be, the jutsu master.
He's like Ash Ketchum from Pokemon, except slightly creepier.
Well, he also doesn't age. He also doesn't age, just like Ash. So
yes, and the third Hokage, I thought this was really cool. They said he knew every jutsu in the Hidden Leaf.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Now the third Hokage is amazing, and if you remember when Orochimaru used his summon 2 coffins, and everyone was like flipping out, and he summoned that, he was about to summon a third coffin.
Yes,
right, and my boy Sarutobi was like, "Oh God, I have to stop this one."
Oh yeah, so was that supposed to be the fourth Hokage's body?
Probably,
or like presence?
I mean, that is the implication.
It is messed up though that how he can control these guys, because obviously, if they were really them, they would not be fighting against the third Hokage. But the fact that they're fighting with them means
to an extent, like he spoke to them at first.
Yeah,
like they weren't just husks. They knew what they were doing, and they hated it.
Yeah, but Orochimaru is obviously controlling them, because if they had their own free will, they would not be doing his bidding.
Obviously.
Yeah, and in the end, the third Hokage did manage to defeat those projections or whatever using the Forbidden Jutsu or the God of Death Jutsu, and it turned out they were just like the bodies of 2 random sound ninjas or something.
Well, not random sound ninjas. They were the 2 sound ninjas that were in the Chunin exams. You knew them, bro. You knew them.
Clearly I didn't remember them that well.
You cared about them, bro.
It was the girl with the needles, and it was the guy with the hand pour things that shot sound waves.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I cared about them that much.
I'm not gonna expect you to have cared about them, but you remember them, I hope.
I do now.
It shows how cold-blooded Orochimaru is.
Yeah. He used these guys for the exam, and then their job was complete.
Well, yes, same thing with Ash Ketchum, bro. When he uses a Pokemon, he takes it back to the Pokeball when he's done
Bro,
with it.
he won't even let Pikachu evolve, bro.
Bro. Ash Ketchum and Orochimaru. Two sides of the same coin.
Dermatologists hate them.
Yeah.
What a random thing to say. I love it.
You guys never seen that
5.
meme?
I have.
Yeah.
4 out of 5 dentists would recommend.
Anyway, like I said, so far, man, Naruto has been really good. I have to say, we are still early on in the story compared to like One Piece, but it's been really good. It's been great action, great character development. The Gara backstory, I think, rivals some of the best villain backstories we've seen in terms of like a tragic backstory that makes you understand a villain, even if you can never agree with them. So
Is
yeah,
that
man.
all shonen or just Naruto?
Well, no, I mean certain shonen do it better. Like their backstories are done really well in certain shows, and not in every single one. I think Naruto did a great job with Gara.
Yeah, I'd say Naruto's up there among like the best backstory tellers.
Animac, you're gonna hate me for this. You're
Yes.
about 34 chapters in.
Yes.
What do you like better so far? 134 chapters of Naruto or 134 chapters of One Piece?
But where were we even at 134?
I think Alabasta just finished.
That's a good question.
Alabasta just finished.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Hold on, I'll go check.
We're
Give me a
definitely
sec.
during Alabasta at the very least.
Because I thought Alabasta was like the perfect arc.
135. I just went to 135, and it is. Oh, it's Drum Island.
So
Bruh.
before Alabasta.
So
They're
it's
in
the
middle of
Alabasta
Drum Island.
arc, but they haven't made it to Alabasta yet.
Well, it's the Alabasta Saga.
Saga, that's what I
Saga,
meant. My
yeah.
apologies.
I mean, it's tough because like I loved the Nami stuff in One Piece,
Oh my god, what a simp.
and Saji was great, like their backstories and stuff. But I feel like
Mihawk, remember
actual-
Mihawk?
the fights, yeah, Mihawk, the awesome entrance, but the actual like fights and the coherency of the story so far, I think Naruto's been better just because, One Piece, they go from island to island, and then in Alabasta is when it all really comes together for the first time. But I feel like Naruto's been more kind of coherent and more, I don't know.
Well,
I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you for coming to an answer.
Yeah.
I like every.
This man has a mental block against actually ranking things.
No, me too, man. Which is why I'm not looking forward to our Rank Cafe episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna do a Rank Cafe episode. Is it this week? Are we doing it this week?
No,
guys?
it's not this week, and I don't think next week either. Rustage wanted to come next week.
Okay, because we're gonna eventually do a roasting Gozen's top 20 favorite anime, and just like me, he hates ranking his anime because they're very different. So it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, we need to have
Well,
Rustage on.
Can we just like what we like? That's my question.
Shut
Well,
up.
even Melody had a breakdown because of this.
It's so fun.
It
We're
is
giving
fun.
we're giving you time. You could come to your conclusions, Gozen.
He does have his top 20 list. It's
No,
just that
I don't want to overthink it. I just
he's
gave
not
my
looking
list
forward
anime.
to having to rank them against each other.
By the way,
And
Animac,
also even that list.
we're gonna get Rustage on the following week, and it's gonna be a collab with One Piece D&D.
Oh, cool.
Hell yeah.
Wait, what?
I'll tell you later.
Cool. Yeah, but so all in all, me personally, so far, I think Naruto is better than One Piece. Although I did enjoy One Piece a lot, don't get me wrong. But so far, I have to say that the Naruto Chunin exams is one of my favorite arcs in anime. It is so good.
I mean,
The
it's not
emotional heights with Lee versus Gara, with Naruto compared to Gara, just Sarutobi, the third Hokage, sacrificing himself against Orochimaru, or at least seemingly sacrificing himself against Orochimaru. No spoilers. All that is just so good. It really is.
I think manga versus manga, I'd probably have to agree that Naruto has a much stronger start.
I wouldn't say much stronger, but I think it probably overall I would have to concede that it is stronger so
Yeah.
far.
Well, we got the
Yeah,
make
Brachier,
it-
we got Arlong Park. I love them both, and it is close.
Yeah,
I
those
think,
are the two big ones so
Yes.
far in One Piece for me. But yeah, Alabasta I thought was an amazing arc, and then obviously when you get to like Marineford and Water 7 and all that stuff is just peak fiction. But I guess if you, like I said, if you're only comparing the first 134 of each, I think Naruto edges it out so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually
Making
agree.
it
I
for
think
people.
what really just spoiled my experience early on was just all the freaking filler in Naruto.
There's not so
Yeah,
much
the
filler
anime, yeah.
until this point. There's no filler.
I feel like there still is, man.
There's like one
Maybe I'm
filler.
imagining it because I
You're
think of the
imagining.
first
Well, things can
220
be drawn out,
episodes.
even if it's not officially filler. You can draw something out. Like, for example, if you guys know Black Clover did a like a backstory episode that is only 1 page in the manga, ended up being half an episode of the anime.
It's true.
I know.
It was for Rill's backstory.
Well, I mean, One Piece has that issue too, but regardless,
Yeah, that's
my
why I
brother,
read the manga.
My brother keeps telling me that the Black Clover anime is amazing, and that I have to watch it, not just read it.
I mean, I've watched a lot of it, not all of it, but it is pretty good. It's entertaining. It's just obviously it's much faster to read at much faster pacing.
Yeah, it'd be like that, man.
Yeah. So, anything else that we need to talk about before we wrap it up today, guys? Other
we
than
do
Naruto
need to
being freaking amazing right now.
yeah,
We
it's
need to
so
just
good.
figure out what we're reading next.
Are you okay with going to chapter 151?
Dude, if you don't finish this arc next time, I'm gonna.
No,
actually
it's
leave
only
the
four. There's only 4 chapters left. We should have just done it this week.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, Briggs. You decide the chapters.
Yeah, but I try to make it realistic for you. Otherwise, you're like, oh
Yeah,
no,
he
that's way
asked.
too much.
Yeah,
Wait, so where 135 to 151 is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that first of all, obviously, I don't want to read these chapters like fast read them. I take notes. I try to do it as as carefully as possible. And also, there's so much stuff happening, and this is all new to me. So I'm still trying to understand the concepts and the different jutsu, all that stuff. So I don't want to be like putting a ton of information and then having to talk about it all, and then I space out, I blank, and then Nux is like, "Bro, you didn't talk about the how dare you? You ruined the podcast." And I'm like, "Thank you, Nux."
Kind of sounds like gaslighting right now. Not gonna lie.
Gaslighting. I was waiting for that term to be introduced to the podcast.
No, I used it before. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop
certain things
gaslighting me. I
whatever.
used it.
I don't even know what gaslighting means.
It's
You don't
okay.
want to
Don't
know.
even
that.
explain it. Don't even explain
missing
it.
out.
This is a good
We
podcast,
can
guys.
gaslight you if you
Rick,
figure it out.
You do know what it means, okay? You do know what it means.
Animax, stop gaslighting him.
Oh my god.
Okay, so up to 151 next week. We're back again next week, guys. One Piece Virgin, we hold off for until we get a few chapters. So Naruto Virgin is live again next week. Check out the Rank of Anime podcast. If you're a fan of the Rank of a light novel, a new chapter came out last week, and it's a big one, so check that out as well. And thank you, Gozen, thank you, Nox, and thank you, Briggs,
You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
this lovely episode. And until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.
Bang.
Glad I was able to save the podcast again.
I
Good way to
like how
finish.
you got that inaccurate statement in right before I stopped recording, so that now I have to include it in the episode ending.
Yeah, that was why I said it.
Bitch.